Hi everybody, welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. That's me. I'm live here on Periscope every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. I'm also live right now on YouTube, so you can subscribe to me on YouTube as well. Next Juice everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Good night, Emerson. First comment to the broadcast is Ed, who told me I needed to go live so he could stop watching TikTok videos, and I totally feel that pain. Hi, Bradley. Are you ready to recap? I'm glad Bradley's here because I know he watched it tonight with me, so if I miss anything, hopefully he'll call me out on it. Hey, Tracy. What's up? Thank you to everybody who makes this show possible. These are our contributors from the last 30 days. You guys are my friggin' heroes and heroines, and I just wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you so much. Nextjuice.com/support. The link's in the description if you'd like to get involved. It would be really helpful. It helps me to keep this channel going. And if you guys like shows like this, let me know by supporting, giving positive feedback, because I'm thinking about doing this for Big Brother on the next season as well. This is the first time I've done something like this on my channel, so I've been having fun doing it. I hope that you guys have fun watching it. And hi, Matt. Hey, everybody. All right. So let's get right into it. Tonight was episode 9 of season 39, Island of the Idols for Survivor. For those of you who don't know, this season involves 2 former winners of Survivor coaching the cast through some different type of mentorship opportunities and giving them advice and then giving them a challenge. So although they don't do that every single week, that is really where the Island of the Idols name comes from. You have Sandra and Boston Rob, and they are on a separate island from the other cast members. Every once in a while, randomly a cast member gets chosen, ends up on the Island of the Idols, and gets mentored by both of them, and then they have to do a challenge. Oftentimes it results in either them getting an immunity idol or some type of benefit, some type of advantage, or losing their vote at the tribal council or the next 2 tribal councils. Yay, Tracy, I'm glad that you like it. Yes. Jeff is the host, and this guy Ronnie was out the first week. So before this week, let's just quickly go over who is still with us. We still have Lauren, Elizabeth, Molly is gone, Missy, Janet, Kelly went last week, Dean, Tom, I should have put spoiler in the title. Spoiler alert. Okay, Tom is gone as well. Jason's gone. We still have Aaron. Vince is gone. Jack is gone. We still have Karishma, Nora, Tommy. Jamal went last week, which is sad because that was my dude. I wanted him to win. And we have Dan, Elaine, and Chelsea is gone. So that's an overview of the cast and the kind of the history in terms of who's been voted off up until this point. If you missed last week's episode, watch my recap. It's on both YouTube and Periscope. Easier to find on YouTube, though, and you can really see how kind of frustrated and annoyed I was by that episode. But luckily, tonight's episode really made up for that, in my opinion. Last week, 2 people went home, and tonight, the same thing happened again. We had 2 tribal councils, 2 people voted off, and it was unique. I had never seen anything like this before. Granted, I just started watching Survivor last season, so there's a lot that I never have seen before. But it seemed unique to me anyway. They didn't do it last season. So the way they did this, so they had their immunity challenge. And this was actually a 2-in-1, so it was an immunity and reward challenge in one. Oh, that would be awesome, Bradley. That would be really, really cool. I think that would be a cool twist. So Bradley just asked, do you think the final twist will be Boston, Rob, and Sandra each casts a vote for the winner? That'd be pretty cool because they have kind of been members of the jury the entire time. So if you guys don't know, at the tribal councils at the end of each episode, Rob and Sandra are sitting in a little hut and nobody knows they're there, and they're observing the tribal council almost as a form of the jury, but they're like a hidden jury. So that's really cool. You're leaning towards Janet, and always have loved Elaine too. Yeah, I think Elaine and Janet are probably like the crowd favorites. They're my personal favorites as well. And you guys feel free to chat whoever you think your favorites are. I was going to say no judgment, but depending on what you say, you might be judged. So anyway, tonight was a lot of fun. The challenge was that they had to stand up on a balance beam. Not a balance beam, but it was it's a balance beam. It's not like moving balance like they've done in previous challenges, but just a solid, like almost like a tightrope walk, right? Just a narrow board that they have to stand one foot in front of the other on. And then while they're doing that, they had this wooden ring, and it had a track on the inside of it and a ball, and they had to keep the ball moving around the ring through this hoop. So some people were moving it really fast and the ball's flying around. Some people were moving a lot more rhythmically and the ball is kind of just going around slowly. And I feel like the results were unanticipated on who was going to win this. So what this extra twist was, where they incorporated not just immunity into this, but also a reward, and then also a twist, was they split the group, because the merge was last week, right? Was it last week? Yeah, the merge was last week, and last week, sorry. And this week they split the group basically into two tribes again. So instead of the two groups competing against each other, although they were in one way, the people within each tribe were competing against each other, just that one. So they had, let's just call them purple and orange. So they had the orange group competing against their members of the orange group all individually, and the purple competing against all each other individually. However, they're still penned against each other because whichever group lasted the longest, so whichever one person lasted the longest spinning that ball around the wheel, got to win a reward for that smaller group. They won peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then they also got to have the second tribal council. So these groups were also going to tribal council. They were both going to tribal council, and they were going separately from each other. So an advantage to the group that ultimately won the challenge was that they were able to go second, so they can see the results of the first tribal council and have a little bit of an advantage there, so they kind of know what was happening with the other group and then vote accordingly. Although it didn't seem to make a difference what happened with the first one, although it did still kind of intertwine in a way that will make a lot of sense in a few minutes when I get to it. So, and who ended up winning the first? So the first group, the first person to guarantee themselves immunity was Nora. So Nora beat, hopefully I didn't actually write it down, I probably should have. So it was Nora, Dean, Dan, help me out here. Nora, Dean, Dan, Lauren, and who else? Janet? No, Janet was in the other one. Let me look at the cast. Who else was over there, guys? Aaron? Aaron, duh. Okay, so, sorry. Okay, so they're in two groups of 5. So we're halfway through the season at this point. So Nora won immunity amongst that group, but she forgot that if she continued and beat the orange team, that she would have been able to win peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for her group and also be able to go second for the tribal councils. I don't think that really mattered to her. She didn't seem to care too much. I was actually really surprised by the reactions of Dean and Dan to her. Nora, you could have won us peanut butter and jelly. First of all, it's peanut butter and jelly, okay? I guess I don't know what it's like to be like on an island and not eating anything for so long. But also, listen up, guys. So could you have. You also could have won us peanut butter and jelly. So don't get your panties in a bunch because I didn't win it when you lost before I did. So you did a worse job securing peanut butter and jelly for the group than I did. So get off my back. That's what I wish that she had said, but instead she was just like, oh my god, I'm sorry. Like, she didn't realize. As soon as they all were done, she realized that she had immunity, and she was excited. She just kind of like threw her thing down, and they're like, no, Nora, no, oh my god. But she was happy, you know, she's got immunity, she's got the necklace, she's good, she's set, you know. Hey Jane, hey Laura, peanut butter jelly time. Yeah, exactly. So then you go to the other group, which is whoever else I didn't mention. I'm not sure if I'll remember everyone here. So you have Karishma, Missy, Elizabeth, Elaine, and Tommy. Yeah, okay, I did better remembering that one. So Elaine ends up winning immunity for that group and also wins peanut butter and jelly and the final tribal council for that group. And she made this joke about how it was kind of like a redneck game. So she just happened to be able to win it because she was happy because she's like, there's so many athletes. And she said they're just in beast mode, like every day, all day, beast mode. And it's nice to be able to win something. And she's like, you just happen to throw this redneck game at me. And she looked so calm. She was just like bored, like looking around, just spinning this ball on this wheel. Like, it was awesome. It was so cool. I love Elaine. I know a lot of people love Elaine, especially Matt, who is Elaine in our little game. And it was surprising because a lot of people thought, so last week Aaron and Missy won the immunity. The week before that Aaron won. So it was a lot of athletes, a lot of these aggressive, powerful, kind of controlling powers that were winning. So it was cool to see Nora and Elaine win, who really haven't been, they're really not great athletes, right? They're just kind of like, they're more average, I guess, average individuals, right? They're probably still more athletic than most of us, but comparatively to the Survivor cast, it was like one for the underdogs, which was a lot of fun. Hey, Sean. Oh, and I'm talking about these people and not showing you who I'm talking about, and some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm not good with names. So the winners of immunity were Elaine. She was the one who said it was like a redneck game, and she also won peanut butter and jelly as well as second tribal council for her group. And then Nora's right above her there, and she won immunity for herself as well. So then the one group had to go to the old Lyro camp. So they actually split them up. They weren't able to interact or talk strategy at all with each other among the two groups. They were now into these smaller 5-person groups. We are, Sean. We do this every Wednesday, so if you don't like a lot of my other content but you want to talk Survivor, every Wednesday I do a recap episode, and then every other Wednesday I watch it live. So this week was one of those. Right before this broadcast, I watched the episode live. So you can watch it right alongside me, and we can kind of react and make predictions live, which is a lot of fun, I think. Hi, Riley. I'm good. How are you? You were the first comment over on YouTube. Thanks for coming. It's really helpful because I'm way down on watch time on YouTube, so I'm really far away from monetizing over there. If you guys watch on YouTube, it helps me out a lot, so thanks. Thank you. All right, so then what ended up happening is they start talking strategy among their groups. So alliances are split up. Let me put them back up on the screen so we can talk alliances here. So Tommy is normally, in cahoots, I would say, with Lauren. These two are now split up. Elizabeth and Missy are still together, which is a pretty strong alliance right there, but they're also normally rounded out with Aaron's presence, and so Aaron was separated from them. Janet and Dan, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on there. So there's Dan. Oh, you know what? And I would say that Elaine does seem to be in that same kind of alliance with Missy and Elizabeth, although I think she's closer with Elizabeth than she probably is with Missy. She did a little bit of trash talking against Missy this week, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So there's Dan and Janet. Now, it seemed to be a pretty good falling out last week. I did not think that we were going to see them reunite, but it does seem like tonight they were on the same team. So I wasn't sure if it was just talk from him, because I view him as a little bit of like a shyster, right? It's Survivor. Everyone's a shyster. They're all saying what they need to say to protect their secrets and their secret alliances and to get themselves further in the game. So I wasn't sure, but at the end, I would say it does seem like they're actually kind of together, and they remained together in their little group split. You're mad? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm not mad at all. I was actually really happy, but we'll get to that soon. So let me see if I missed any other alliances that got split up. We're really down to like the final 10 now. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everybody. What's interesting, I think is interesting anyway, is that there's a lot of people here that don't really seem to have much of an alliance, like Nora, Karishma, Elaine. Elaine is kind of like with Elizabeth and Missy. Dan, I guess, is kind of with Janet. But even still, like, the alliances don't seem all that strong at this point. Dean is someone who really doesn't seem to have much of an alliance at all. Janet was definitely feeling very much on her own, so maybe her and Dan are kind of rekindling things because, again, they're alone, right? So they need somebody. So the alliances in general are pretty weak and pretty small. There's like maybe 2 or 3 people that are allied, and then that's about the biggest alliance that there is. So I think that's interesting, to say the least. Okay. as opposed to like Big Brother last season where there was like an alliance of 9 and then an alliance of 8 and an alliance of 7 and 5, and there was like always these pretty big majority alliances. You think Elaine will win? Wow. Yep, that turned it around, right? She wanted to hang a little longer at Tribal. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you saw Sandra go, all right, girl, it's over. Like, go now. Okay, so let's talk about what happened next. So, well, let's talk about what was happening with the strategizing. So let's see the best way to start this. So when everyone was all together before the immunity challenge, there was a lot of talk of Karishma and Janet. They said, okay, we'll get rid of Karishma this week and then Janet the following week. And that was kind of like a generalized, you never really know what's going on with the individuals, but as a group, it seemed like that was a pretty good feel. Although I agree with what Rob said at Tribal Council towards the end, where he said everyone's going to take Karishma to the end. So at one point in tonight's episode, Missy made a comment to Karishma where she said, oh, I would have taken you to the end. And that's not a compliment, okay? To be like, oh, I would have taken you to the end. Like, that means that you think you would win against this person. That means you don't view this person as a threat. You don't think the jury's going to vote for them, and therefore you're going to get the $1 million. When you say, I'm going to take you to the end, that's not like, oh, I'm going to, like, I view you as a competitor, and I'm going to bring you to compete with me and get this fight for this $1 million with me. Like, so it makes sense. People, and Missy in particular, has been keeping Karishma around to hopefully use as a pawn, because Karishma usually, up until tonight, I feel like was pretty much going with whatever everyone said, was really acting as more of like a sheep, just going with the majority, not really feeling very powerful, feeling like she's always at the bottom, so she was just going to do whatever she needed to do to stay alive, right? Accomplishment. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, so you're going to get to final 2, but then I'm going to beat you. So it's like, yeah, it's a bittersweet thing to say, I suppose, but mostly bitter. It's not really a nice thing to say to someone. So I do think that same thing. So people keep saying, oh, Karishma's going to win the whole thing because she's really not an impressive competitor. She doesn't help out around camp, which was something that got brought up a lot tonight. And Nora was being especially aggressive about that tonight. So this is Nora. When Nora and Karishma first met after the first tribe swap, Nora was very encouraging of Karishma. It seemed like she was supporting her and encouraging her and kind of trying to motivate her, but apparently that was all for naught, and now Nora's pretty much had enough of her, and she's like always asking her to help around the camp. Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Like she's saying to the camera, she never does anything. She's ungrateful. She's unhelpful. She's not good at competition. She's not good at puzzles. She's not good at, and at this point it doesn't matter if they're good at challenges, right? Because now it's every man for themselves, so you don't really care if they're good at challenges because you want to be able to beat them to get yourself immunity. But when they were in tribes, that was a big complaint. It's like, she's not helping us, she's holding us back, she's hindering us, she's not really getting a whole lot. So people are also feeling like she's maybe a little lazy around camp. She's not helping with cutting down any of the trees or getting any of the firewood or collecting coconuts or food or fishing or like any of the things that would be helpful around camp. She's oftentimes laying in the hammock. And they showed many clips. Of course it's edited and produced and we don't know truly what's happening. Hi, Chris. But we do know that they showed a lot of clips of her just laying in the hammock today, in today's episode, and people are like lugging trees past her and like cooking and doing all this stuff, and she's just kind of like chilling, taking it easy. Hey, Gerald. So they were saying that she seems kind of entitled, My friend Amanda from high school, and oh my god, hi Casey. It's edited that way, right? Perhaps, yeah, because they're like trying to verify what these people are saying. Yeah, that is huge. That is huge. So, and she didn't play it tonight, which I thought was really surprising, and I thought she might go home because that's been a bit of a theme this season, is people going home with idols in their pockets. Hey, what's up? Hey, girl, hey. I mean, hey, guy, hey. All right. So Nora, being frustrated with Karishma, does say, hey, can you go get some coconuts? And Krishma's like, yeah, I'll go look for some coconuts. She's walking around. She looks really out of it, and she's just kind of like in a daze, like slowly picking up a coconut and like shaking it and then moving to the next. And I mean, they're not getting a lot of food, right? So you could see like you could start to see people's abs and stuff. Like it's hard to get to your abs to be visible unless you're really watching what you eat or not eating anything. You end up burning through a lot of fat. It's the first thing your body tends to eat, especially when you're doing these physical things. Your body's not burning its muscles. Instead, it tries to get rid of the fat first. Yeah, I thought she might too, Jane. I thought she might get blindsided. So she's out there, she's looking for coconuts, and you could tell, right? Like, if you watch my replay, I said it, Greg said it too, he's like, oh yeah, totally. You could see, like, as she's looking around for coconuts, I'm like, she's gonna find an idol right now. Like, she's just looking around, she's gonna find a freaking idol. Sure enough, Miss Karishma goes and finds herself an idol while she's looking for coconuts, and now she has an idol, which is an immunity idol, which keeps her safe at a tribal council if she uses it wisely and smart. Which hasn't happened for everyone. There's been several people this season who have gone home with an idol in their pocket, namely Chelsea, Vince, Kelly. Kelly had 2 idols in her pocket when she got voted out last week. And I think that was it. Chelsea actually made a joke on Twitter where she said apparently she made history by being the first female contestant of Survivor to get voted off with an idol in her pocket on their first season. So returning players have done that because she was a new person. This is her first time on Survivor. She set a record. She's like, see, I'm a legend. You know, good sense of humor on her for sure. I am from the USA, yeah. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, so then she comes back from finding her idol. She's all excited. Well, she comes back and she has 2 coconuts in her hands. And Nora is like, she's fed up, right? So Nora is up here. She's like, what the heck? You have 2 coconuts. You were gone for over an hour. What were you doing? And so Krishma's like, what? Nora's like, you've been gone for a really long time. You got 2 coconuts? And she's like, can I drink someone's water? Like, she's playing sick. Like, she doesn't feel well. Like, she's really out of it. And they're all like, we're going to call medical for you. Like, something's not right. You're like, what is going on with you? And she's like, no, it's my body. It's my choice. I don't want you to get me medevaced out of here. They're like, we're not trying to get you medevaced. It's just like, something's not right with you. Are you okay? Like, you need to see medical. I'm kind of trying to force it on her, but she didn't go for it. She's like, this is too much drama. And she like left. Yeah, that was a good actress. A lot of people said, you know, Lauren said tonight that we should all win an Oscar because everybody's acting, right? Throughout a lot of the show, especially when it gets down to the end, it gets more intense with trying to hide your true intentions, because if someone senses they're about to be blindsided and they have an idol, they're going to use their idol. But if you don't have an idol, then it doesn't really matter if you know or you don't know, you are screwed. It's not morning. It's 10:30 at night on the East Coast where I am. Okay, so she gets an idol. This is all before the split. Then I think. Yeah, this is before the split. That all happens. Am I missing anything else that happened before the split? Oh, they were talking, like I had said, they were talking about getting Karishma and Janet. That seemed like that was pretty much all they really showed, was a little bit of strategy. Karishma this week, Janet next week. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me why you would want Karishma out at all. You know, that's what they were like saying, she's lazy around camp. They don't want people who are just like not doing anything. But in terms of winning the game, people who, if there's someone who's genuinely unpopular with like everyone, they're probably not going to get a whole lot of jury votes at the end, and they're probably not going to beat you for the $1 million. So that might be someone good to bring to the final 2, which is reiterating what I've already said. So let's move forward. So they split up the groups. Now the immunity has been set. Elaine and Nora have won immunity for their groups. Now they separate. Elaine's group is eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and Nora's group is just kind of like hanging around, talking strategy, going around and chatting. So Nora and Aaron are chatting, and if you don't remember who Aaron is, he's right above Nora here, and he says, you know, how are you feeling about tonight's tribal council? And she's like, well, I have immunity, so I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling? And he's like, yeah, like we're still going for, who was it that he thought? Karishma? Was it, wait, who's on there? It was Janet, right? Yeah, Janet. So he's like, we're still going for Janet, right? And she's like, yeah, I guess. Like, she's like, the only thing is like Janet's pretty helpful around camp, and you know, I don't know. So then it cuts to Nora, just, hi Victoria, just kind of like brainstorming to the camera, something that's to me very obvious, and like I totally agreed with her, is, you know, Aaron's a really strong competitor, and this is the first time since individual immunities have been going out that he didn't win individual immunity, and this is our chance as a really strong competitor to take out a big threat. And why, it's like right there in front of us, why wouldn't we do that? So she wants to take out Aaron. So they're chatting about that among the members of their group. So, hi. So let's recap who's there. So Aaron wants to get out Where am I going here? She's right here. Janet talks with Nora, who's like, I want to get out Aaron. This is our chance. Let's get Aaron out. So she's overjoyed. She's really happy about that. Dean doesn't really love that idea because he says, okay, well, if Aaron's being taken out because he's a big physical threat, which he is, then who's next on the chopping block? He's like, me. You know, I'm a physical threat, but I'm not as much of a threat as Aaron. So if they're going after Aaron because he's a physical threat and they get him out, next on the block's going to be me, and I don't want it to be me. So if I keep Aaron for a little while, at least in the short term, that could be really helpful for me. And then so he was thinking about going for Janet as well, as that was the original plan. And then was Lauren there too? I feel like Lauren was on their team, right? Yeah. And then Lauren, I don't really remember her having a whole lot of airtime tonight. She basically I don't really remember. Do you guys remember really like what Lauren was saying? I know she was the one who said they all deserve an Oscar, and her and Dean were talking, we're like, oh, we're all just acting now, right? And she's like, yeah. They must have been talking about, they were all pretending like they were going to go for Janet. And Janet was like playing it up like she knew she was going to go home. She's like, oh, she's talking to Aaron on the beach. Oh, hey, John, yeah, I'm back. She's like, oh, I'm just so grateful that I got this chance to be on this show, you know, especially at my age. Totally playing it up. And Aaron's like, all right, Janet's going. Janet knows she's going. Everybody knows she's going. Easy tribal tonight, you know? So long story short, they go to tribal council, they chat a little bit about how Janet's going to go home, and Aaron does vote for Janet, and everyone else votes for Aaron, and Aaron is the next member of Survivor to be voted off of the island, and it was so glorious for me because I have wanted Aaron to be gone since the first episode when they got Ronnie out, because it was Ronnie and Aaron together, and I just don't like their vibe. I don't like this controlling, aggressive, machismo, I'm smarter than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm gonna just do whatever I want, what I want is gonna happen, this very, you know, arrogant, overly confident type vibe. I don't think that's a strong social game. I don't think that's what wins you Survivor, but if you're strong enough to win immunity every week, it could get you pretty far. Unfortunately, Aaron dropped his ball and literally dropped the ball, and here we go. We got him, not we, but they voted him out, which I think was a really, really, really smart idea. I do think Janet is a threat. I mean, her social game is strong. Janet and Elaine, the reason that a lot of us are saying those two are our favorites is because they have such a great social game. They're likable, they're friendly, they have morals, you know, they're not haughty and arrogant and controlling or bullies, and they're not like, you know, they're just not they're not extra, okay? They're pretty calm, laid back, relatable type people, and everybody feels like that with them, so it makes them a threat, just simply because Elaine was thought to be going home potentially on like the first or second, no, I think it was the first week. Ronnie was convinced Elaine was going to go. He targeted her because she had such a great social game, and then he ended up going home with a very successful blindside, the first of many this season. Hey, Deb. He got, yes, exactly. She was mostly in the preview for the next episode. Are you talking about Lauren? Okay, cool. So, yeah, he got. Perfect way to put it. So then the next group of people come out, and the looks on Missy and Elizabeth's faces. So let's go up there. I wish I could show you their faces right now. I mean, these are their faces, but these are their confident faces. These are not the faces that they made when they walked out, because it was these two girls and then Aaron, who was their, like, that was a big alliance. And I do feel like Elaine's kind of part of that, but Elaine had mentioned earlier to Karishma, I forgot to talk about that whole thing where Missy's saying to Karishma, okay, here's the plan. Here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you what we're doing. And Karishma didn't like that. Now, Karishma's also much more confident now that she has an idol in her pocket. But she's like, Missy, don't talk to me like this. I don't like you. She just kind of like walked away. Those were not her exact words, but that was the vibe. Like, you're a bully. You think you control and run this game and tell me what to do and tell me what everyone's going to do and just keep reminding me how everyone's gunning for me and I'm at the bottom and here's how you're going to save me. And like, she just could see right through it, you know? In conclusion, that's not how plans work. Yeah. So if you're going to collaborate and come up with a plan with someone, you would be like, all right, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? You don't just go, here's the plan. Here's what's happening. Here's what you're going to do. Like, people don't like that. In psychology, it's called reactance theory. Hi, Amy. Are you sick? And, oh no, you just don't like Survivor. Reactance theory means that we don't like to be told what to do. So when someone tells us what to do, we instinctively rebel. We want to come to our own conclusions and make our own choices. We really value freedom. So that was where Missy was totally messing up her social game in a big way. And then she walks out, and her and Aaron were like super close. I even suggested that they might even be a potential showmance. And because they're so similar, and they were really close, and they were just very like, oh, we run this game, this is us, we're in charge of everything. They both won immunity last week, and, you know, they were really, like, feeling themselves and getting hyped up on themselves. They're always talking about, oh, we're gonna get the W, we're gonna get the win, like, they're eating the Applebee's, oh, you know what this tastes like? It tastes like a W, like, they were just so invincible, you know, that's kind of the energy that they put out. Hey, Frankie. You sit on the floor? What? Okay. So... Missy and Elizabeth walk out, and their faces, they're just like, that's my impression of them. When they see Aaron sitting on the jury, because Aaron had to just immediately go to the jury and sit there for the next tribal council. So now he's on the jury because he just got voted out. And they're like, oh my God, you know, and Jeff's like, oh, how are you guys feeling? You know, he's like picking at the wound. And they're like, well, shocked, like, upset, you know, that was like, you know, Elizabeth, that was like my number one, and now to see that, which I don't really believe that was her number one. I think Missy was her number one, but anyway, you know, so to see him over there is just not what I expected. You know, they both probably expected to see Janet. So the fact that Aaron was sitting there, they were like, oh crap, what's happening right now? So anyway, they have their tribal council, and they're talking about, you know, who's going to get out, and Missy and Krishma had come to an agreement that they were going to pretend, same kind of thing, like what they did with Janet on the other group, they were going to do that with Krishma on this group. They're going to pretend like Krishma's going home, Krishma knows she's going home, Missy's going to talk about how her and Krishma had a lot of problems, and, you know, everybody needs to get Krishma out, Krishma's no good, and they're doing that at the tribal council, they're kind of fighting, but that was supposed to be the whole plan. That's what Missy said they were going to do, and Krishma's like, yeah, I'll totally play along with that, I'll do that, that's perfect, and then I'll vote out Tommy. So Missy wanted to vote out Tommy. That was her target. Again, very good social game on Tommy. If you don't know who Tommy is, he's the redhead. And because Tommy is so closely allied with Lauren, Missy, being very smart, she's very, very, very smart, very capable competitor in this game for sure, with the exception of potential social game, is that she wanted Lauren to be on her side. So she wanted, you know, she wants as many pawns as she can get. She wants as many Elizabeths as she can pull off. Because Elizabeth basically just goes with whatever Missy says. And we saw that played out in a really horrible way last week with the whole Me Too type situation that happened, of false Me Too cries, because of that was Missy's plan. Missy said, oh, this is our chance, this is the perfect way to make Kelly think that we're all, you know, a group. And I just thought that whole thing was just, I can't say that enough, but I have said it enough, so let's move forward. So that's what she wants. She wants Lauren to be manipulatable and easy to control, and to go with her and to count as a number for her. And as long as her and Tommy are together, she can't really get what she wants from Lauren, because Lauren has allegiance elsewhere. So Missy, being really smart, is like, well, if I can get Tommy out of here, then Lauren will come over and play with me. So let's all go for Tommy. So her and Elizabeth obviously want to go for Tommy. Who else was there? Karishma's down for it. Karishma's like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. I think that does make a lot of sense. We can have like basically a strong female alliance. Hey, Charles. So that's Tommy. Who else is part of this? Elaine. Elaine's like, yeah, that's fine by me, you know, whatever. But then Elaine says to Karishma, yeah, I don't really like how Missy is so... I forget the exact word. Elaine explained it in the words she used were spot on. Something about how Missy's just very like in your face. Here's how it's gonna go. She's very much like tells you what to do. She's very commanding and a bit aggressive, and doesn't really fly with everyone. Not everyone likes that. And that's what Elaine said. Elaine said, I don't really like that. And she's talking to Karishma. So you could probably guess how this tribal council ended up going. And I alluded to it earlier when I said that the two people who got voted out tonight were somewhat related. And sure enough, the axe came down on Missy tonight. So Missy and Aaron both got in one night. 2 tribal councils, one night, one episode, 2 of the strongest competitors out. And what was interesting and ironic in a negative way was that Missy called out Jeff Probst for not noticing or recognizing or mentioning that the 2 immunity winners from last week were both African American. And he kind of said, like, well, I don't know that he's like, I thank you for bringing that up to me. He's like, I don't know if I would have done, if I would still do that, because like, if I bring it up, it's almost like, oh, how surprising. Like you wouldn't expect that to happen. And I think that was a really good response. It's like, what did you expect him to say? Like, congratulations to the black people for doing something good. Like, what is he going to say? Oh, I think we should take a moment to recognize that these African Americans have been successful. Like, in a way, isn't that just furthering like racial lines and boundaries? And because if he had recognized and commented on it and said something about it, he would have gotten criticized. And because he didn't, he gets criticized. I feel like either way, right? Like, he couldn't win either way. You know, as a white man, is like he's screwed, you know, like you do or you don't. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So he chose not to, apparently, and yeah, a lose-lose, exactly. But then those very 2 same African Americans that had immunity last week both got voted out this week, which was kind of like the anti thing to be proud of, right? Now, you guys had immunity last week, congratulations, good representing for your culture, and now you both just got voted out in a blindside. You were both blindsided. So it was very like, oh, you know, it was kind of like, oh my God, it was like gut-wrenching a little to see that she's so proud and like, you know, why didn't you recognize us? And then he's like putting out her torch, like, bye. I was just like, whoa, so much. It's this microcosm that is reality TV shows and Survivor, you know, in particular this season especially, and that I'm noticing, where it's like the whole Me Too kind of mini Me Too thing happened last week, and then this whole thing with like the race card, and it's just like, you know, do you want to be recognized based on your race? I don't know. You know, like, what if he said, oh, like these 2 white people won? Like, should it be about race? Should race be a part of this, or should it just be individuals? Look at these individuals doing cool things. Women, men, gay, straight, black, white, Asian, Spanish, whatever. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was pretty ironic that she brought that up and then immediately had her torch put out. And I felt bad, right? Because she was like trying to say that she's proud and wants to represent, and then to like immediately then be blindsided was like, screw that. Now, when Missy was going out, it was really interesting the way she went out as well. She actually hugged each individual person in the group rather than just like leaving, which is what most people do. She hugged everyone, and when she hugged Elizabeth at the end, so Elaine admitted to Missy, sorry, girl, I did what I had to do. And Missy's like, that was you? You were that 3rd vote? And Elaine's like, well, yeah, it was me. And she's just like, oh my God, like, how could you do that? And then she hugs Elizabeth and she whispers into her ear. And we shouldn't, right, Charles? I don't think we should. And we can talk more about that in a minute. So we all people, be a person, not a label. That's what I think. Yeah, like, you know, yeah, it shouldn't matter. It's okay to be proud, right? So, like, if I win a physical competition and I'm extra proud because I'm a woman, fine. You know what I mean? It's fine to be proud. But to call someone out for not recognizing you based on that is a question mark, you know? Like, isn't that just furthering the stereotypes and the prejudice, I think. Hey, Chadwick. I'm Chadwick. Yeah, and I'm Taylor. Generalizations, yeah, blanket statements, exactly. That's my trigger lately, is like people who generalize and just say, oh, here's the thing with this, you know, the one thing. It's like, humans are complex, right? There's no way to just make a sweeping generalization about any group of people. We need to start loving each other. It's 2019, not 1885. You got it, Charles. So she whispers into Elizabeth's ear, oh, hey, Valis, hey, Greg, chill people to have a beer with. Yeah, have a beer, that's fine. What kind of beer are you having? So she whispers in Elizabeth's ear something that was really kind of creepy. Like, this demonstrates these words that she used here. Hey, Greg, I just saw your comment over on YouTube. Sorry for the delay. this exemplifies Missy's energy. Now, Missy was in the Air Force, and this could come from that. It could come from other things, I don't know. But she whispers into Elizabeth's ear, your mission now, I don't know if this is not maybe verbatim, but it's something like this. This is the energy of it. Your mission now, again, controlling, telling Elizabeth what she's going to do and all this, is to kill Elaine. She used the word kill, I'm pretty sure. You hear me? You hear me? She's in her ear, like, slowly and methodically. Just like, okay, that was creepy. That was the creepiest of the creepy. Who says that? Who says that? Like, I know she doesn't mean actually murder her, right? Like, I get that, Chadwick. She doesn't actually mean kill her. But the way she said it, like, again, it's just this controlling manipulation. She's going to try to control the outcome, even though she's not playing anymore and she's out. And Sandra's in the little jury box going, okay, girl, it's over. Get out of there. What are you doing? And what was interesting is that Rob predicted that Aaron was going home, and Sandra predicted that Janet was going home. So they were even doing kind of like what we do at home, trying to figure out who it's going to be. And then Rob ended up being right when Aaron and Missy both went home the same night. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep. I agree. So that's this week's recap of episode 9 of season 39, Island of the Idols, Survivor 2019. And I heard a little birdie told me, I think it was Greg, thank you for the super hearts, Greg, that next season is going to be an all-winners season. That'll be exciting. And they showed a little bit of clips from next week. What did they show us? I don't even remember. Bradley, are you still here? I do not recall. I sound like the guys at the impeachment trial today. I do not recall that. I do not recall any such meeting. Didn't you try out? Have you heard anything? I did not try out. No, I have no interest in being on Survivor, but someone did dare me to try out. So if we get 100,000 super hearts or $100 on the website in one day, then I have to try out for Survivor. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to choose me, because why would you choose a 100-pound girl who doesn't want to be on Survivor to be on Survivor? This show's been on for 40 years. Is it 40? I think it was 20. I don't think it's 40. I want to say 20 years. 20, 25? Let's look it up. It might be 40 seasons. I think they have 2 seasons a year. More former players. Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I feel like with the Rob and Sandra dynamic, Rob kind of like, it's like Rob's thing. Like, Sandra's just kind of sitting there, like, head nodding a lot of the time, you know? Oh, yeah, I would much rather do Big Brother. Hey, at least I can eat normal food. Did you win? You're not in the game to win, so nobody won, though. But 2 people did not survive. So how long has Survivor been on? Thank you, Charles. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm better than anybody. Two seasons aired during each U.S. television season. There's been 39. Obviously, this is the 39th season. May 31st, 2000. So May 31st of next year will be 20 years that it's been on. What you lack in endurance, you make up for in ingenuity. I would be charisma, you guys. I would be the one everyone's like, this person sucks. She sucks at challenges. She's so lazy. She's not chopping down any trees. I'll be like, in the hammock. I feel sick. Sorry, Karishma. I'm sorry. I'm just making jokes. It's just jokes. You get shepherds and you get sheep. I'm like, I think I'm a pretty natural leader, and I don't think that does well in Survivor when you try to lead, you know? You're older than Survivor. I think hopefully most of us are older than Survivor. How many 19-year-olds do you think are watching this broadcast right now? Do you live watch videos each episode? I just came across your channel each week. It premiered in 2000. Oh, thank you, Brett. Yeah, I didn't see that. So I do it every week. I do a recap, and every other week I get to watch it live because of custody of my stepkids. So when we have the kids, I don't watch it live because I'm with the kids. So when I don't have them, which is every other week, then I do it live. So next week it'll just be this recap afterwards, and then and it'll be like later at night because I can't watch it until like later in the day. I watch it on DVR, and then I do the recap after. So last week I didn't do the recap until Thursday, actually, because that episode was long. It was like a 2-hour-long episode, and it was so intense that I needed a day to sleep on it. Just take the cash cannon. There are 3 types of people: sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs. I've heard that, yeah. Hopefully there aren't any 19-year-olds. Hey, kids, go to bed. Hand me a fucking stone vine and strong stick. I wouldn't be able to be on Naked and Afraid either. That's always weird. They're like cuddling together all naked. But yeah, I think it would be fun to be on Big Brother, but I wouldn't want to be isolated from the rest of the world for an entire summer. You know me. You could live stream my life all day. I don't care. Actually, I would say some very politically incorrect stuff. People would hate me. It would be a whole thing. I don't really want to be like famous or even like a mini celebrity. But if you look at some of these people who've been on like Survivor or Big Brother, if you look at their Twitter feeds, a lot of them only have, I mean, I have more followers than half these people. So it's not like you get celebrity status necessarily, you know? It's fake nudity. Wait, they're not actually naked? Would you request taking us along? If you wanted to watch me on Big Brother, I wouldn't get to request to take you along, no. You would have to watch the CBS, like, All Access Pass or whatever to watch it all 24/7. But, I mean, Big Brother has 3 episodes a week. I mean, you would miss me, though. I would miss you guys. I don't mean you would miss me. I mean, like, you would see me a lot less than you see me now, because I go live right now 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. So I don't mean, like, you would miss me. I mean, like, I would be missing, right? And I would miss you guys. Their private parts are actually pixelated. What do you mean in the real world? I would be instantly hated and make it one huge troll fest. Yeah, well then you would get probably voted out in Big Brother because people have to live with you like in a house in a small space. A lot of pasties and G-strings on Naked and Afraid. That's still pretty naked. I don't really care about being naked, but I don't want to be in the wilderness, naked or not, to take us to Survivor 24/7. Does Survivor have a 24/7 live feed? I don't think so. I think it's just Big Brother. Because that's the whole point, right? Big Brother, the whole concept is from George Orwell's book 1984. Big Brother is watching. That's the whole idea. And I love that book, and I love that idea, and I really enjoy the show. But I wouldn't want to live with those people. I'm not good at not saying exactly what I think about things, and that would result in me not winning that show. I'm also not good at competitions, so I think I would be screwed. But hey, it could be fun. I'm gonna go now because this concludes 3 hours of live content with me for today. I'll be back tomorrow for 3 more hours of live content, like I am every day, 7 days a week. We have more Othello to read, but I have to get it read by tomorrow anyway, and I'll read it a lot faster if I'm not doing it live. Sorry, Chris. Love you. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for the super hearts. I think you were our only super hearts this broadcast. Yeah, 3,500. Thank you. I'm glad that you like this. I wonder what Survivor Next Juice be like. You and Ed wandering the forest preserve. No! Survivor Next Juice version? Me on any of them kinds of shows, I'll chase everybody off with an axe, and you will not be allowed on the show. Thank you, Chris, for the super hearts. I can already see them receiving your application video and being like, that one's in the no bin. That girl wants to murder everyone with an axe. That's going to be a hard pass on that. And I don't think they have axes at the Big Brother house. But maybe knives. Anyway, what's the total for the day? We needed I think we needed 82,000 super hearts on this broadcast to be at a dare. And I don't think we got any. Wait, did we get? I think one person supported on the website today. Let me check. It was like $10 or something, though. You're going to go watch Chris Scopes now? Chris! Wait, who's Chris? Wait, oh, Chris Thompson? Wait, you're going to try to beat me for a super fan? This is ridiculous. No, we've been teasing each other about being your super fans, and I was making fun of Greg because I passed him. He was your number 2 super fan, I was number 3, and now I'm number 2 and he's number 3. Sits in my tree hole. Yeah, no, I don't think I got any sponsorships today, unless I missed some. Let me check. Checking. Analyzing. Why is it taking so long to load? Chris has been scoping. I didn't notice. Too much TikTok, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Chris was scoping in a hot tub the other day, and there were water slides, and I was trying to get him to go down the water slide, but he was too afraid to break his new phone. And I looked up his phone while he was live, and I said, look, it's water resistant. It can be submerged for up to 30 minutes. Still nothing. I'm not very persuasive. This is why I would not be good in these shows. Okay, I love you guys. I hope to see you on the next juice tomorrow. I have so much studying to do. Probably going to read Othello tonight, and then tomorrow we'll study psychology together, and then I'll do that assignment. And then maybe I'll just continue whisper reading Othello to you guys when I get a chance. Hot tub Chris, and I missed that. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if it were at the end of its life. It's still an infant. Take your infant down the water slide. That is the way to seize life by the cojones. All right, I love you guys. I hope to see you on the next juice. Thank you so much to everyone that makes this channel possible, like Chris and Greg with the Super Hearts, and Laura and Frankie and Matt, who are all monthly sponsors of the channel, and everyone on this list. Thank you guys so much. I hope to see you back tomorrow for 3 more hours of content. We're going to be studying personality and the self for my psychology of human development class, and then I don't know, maybe we'll do more Othello or not, but I'm going to finish reading that tonight myself and get my assignments going, and yeah. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you, Chadwick. Look, I'm doing the Dean head. I was making fun of Dean's head movements earlier. He's just always like... Did anybody notice that? Like, during every tribal council, Dean's just like... He's like sitting in a weird position. He's like... Okay, anyway. This has been a moment in time with Taylor. Hope to see you on the next juice.